Hello, my name's David McGregor. I'd like to introduce you to a new series that I'll be starting on the outdoors. We will be covering camping, hiking, backpacking, canoeing, kayaking, fishing, hunting, sailing, and all the other good jazz that goes with the general outdoors. I've been an outdoorsman for, since I was 8 years old, so 42 years, 44 years. You'll see some military stuff brought into this and stuff. I am former military. I served in the United States Army and the United States Navy, as well as the National Guard. I retired out of the active U.S. Army in 2015. As far as learning tactics and stuff on this channel, that's not going to happen. I have no interest in teaching those, nor do I have any interest in teaching war stories. In the civilian side of things, I, until recently, was a Red Cross certified licensed training provider for BLS, first aid, stop the bleed, AED, and all that stuff. I gave that up in June because it cost more money than I was making between the equipment and everything else, and being undercut by ATPs for classes, that being your firefighters, hospitals and stuff like that, which are not supposed to be training outside of their facilities to people outside of their employees. So I will be teaching you, since nobody wanted to do anything about that. I'll be using the knowledge that I gained from that and from the military first aid, TCCC and all that good jazz, to teach you field and wilderness first aid. I will be teaching trailcraft, animal identification, plant identification. I will show you how to subsist off the land. I will show you how to make shelters. I will show you the proper way of making campfires and why certain firing designs work and others are just for show. And I will show you how most people do not know how to use campfires correctly, especially in a living in the outdoors or spending long periods of time in the outdoors. This series will be done, as you can see, I blank out a little bit. I have been blown up 4 times, so I have TBIs. So you will see that I will skip or hold off on words and stuff while my brain tries to process and get back to where it was. I am not going to edit this stuff out. I am not trying to be a videographer. I am not trying to turn this into some mega fortune. My reasons for doing these videos is, at current, I have almost all of my kids except one are grown up. I have no grandkids at this point in time. I have been given some health news that makes me wonder if I will ever see my grandchildren to be able to teach them. And while my children have working base knowledge of what I know, none of them ever really wanted to pursue it in depth to the point where they know what I know. And a lot of what I know came from my grandfather, who raised me, and he was from the greatest generation, and I'm, of course, Gen X. But with the health concerns and my disabilities, it is getting harder for me to be in the outdoors. And as I mentioned before, I was search and rescue across this country. I've done search and rescue in Virginia, Washington, Texas, Alaska, here in Kansas twice, New Jersey, where else? Georgia. Yeah, I think that covers it here in the United States. I think I said Washington too. Anyway, neither here nor there. This format is going to be unscripted and there's not going to be a lot of editing involved. You're going to follow me as I go through the paces on what I do, and we will start off with the basics and move into the stuff that you would need to actually start on the outdoors. And we will do gear how-tos, and we will go through some gear, and as I go and evaluate other gear, I will introduce you to those too along with me. Stuff that I've done in the past and things that I've worked with in the past, I will review on the blind and show you what I carry currently in lieu of the things that I've tried in the past that just did not work for me. I hope you join me. I hope you find it informative. This format will be kid-friendly, but it will be absolutely factual. Parents out there, if you have a problem with your children hearing about body parts, about function, and factual relations, you probably don't want to have them watching my channel. But I am leaving it open, and I will be discussing these things in a factual manner for 8 years old up. Because I expect that that's when my grandchildren will probably see this, is about that age group. And I would hope that they would have the basic knowledge of body, function, that sort of thing by that point. My kids all did. So I will be being very candid about health and hygiene, injuries, helping people, and mentalities. We will be discussing life and death scenarios. It is my intent in opening this up to the world to A, yes, make some money on it, to try and allow me to keep doing it as long as I can, and B, to put it out there for as many people as who want to hear it, to correct mistakes that I have seen on these survival shows, on these backpacking and hiker forums and influencers. Don't do the Bear Grylls, drink your pee, and eat bugs. You can eat some bugs when absolutely necessary, but they become much better use as bait for larger animals or fish or birds. So we will not be concentrating on doing the gross stuff. Drinking urine will poison you. Don't do it. That just goes without saying. If you're watching Bear Grylls and he's encouraging people to do something that's absolutely counterproductive to staying alive and staying in optimal health in the outdoors. My goal in this is to give everybody who sees this from start to finish a solid foundation in the outdoors and get them to try methods on their own. Some things are just what they are. They are absolutely black and white. Other things need to be integrated, and you'll do your own way after you have practice doing them. It is not my intent to be the Bible of the outdoors. It is my intent to give you a solid, firm foundation in reality and to keep yourselves alive in trying situations and to give you the skills to recognize the hazards and dangers before you even get to them. So with that, this is my introduction. As I said, my name's David McGregor. I'm not going to hide behind any kind of graphics or great names or anything like that. You can feel free to look me up anytime you wish. As I said, I was born and raised in the outdoors. I went to the military and aced the survival courses while annoying the instructors because I was already ahead of them and they didn't like that. There are some useful things that I did learn and pick up in SEER, but overall, the surviving off the land and stuff is a lot easier if you do it the old way. My goal is to get more kids from all races and creeds into the outdoors and pass on knowledge that was given to me by my grandfather, who was given to him by his Norwegian father and his best friend's father, who was the son of the last of the mountain men on the East Coast. So you're going to see some things that come from the old mountain men. If you go to the TV show and you see the TV show Mountain Men, they're not really mountain men. Mountain men have not existed since 1890. There's no commercial mountain men anymore. And most mountain men converted to being just plain outdoorsmen or woodsmen. So that would be the highest standard you can get to in the outdoors. I see it as levels, bushcrafters, survivalists below that, and freaking hobbyists below that. That's the people that everybody claims has experience in the outdoors because they've been hiking for 5 years, but still don't know how to start a fire to keep warm or build a mass shelter or recognize when the storm has gotten too bad to shelter in place. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to show you those things and show you how not to end up as one of the statistics or somebody that has to be rescued. We'll get into communications. Relevant to this, besides my outdoors experience that I grew up with and the fact that I was SAR, I was a rock climber until I was blown up the first time, and then I was no longer able to climb. So I am an experienced rock climber and mountain climber. In the military, as a communications specialist, a combat engineer, an engineer mechanic, and a medic. So I think that covers it. You're not going to see, I'm going to do my best with the cameras and lighting and stuff, but it really isn't my forte. Yeah, as you can see from this, I'm pretty awkward in front of a camera. When it's not pointed at me, it'll probably be a lot better. But as we go through this and I take you through this, hopefully it'll flow a little bit better. Because the point of this is to keep it real and to keep you going with me in real time. So you're not getting perception drifts and missing out on vital information that kind of gets lost to the side in post-production manipulations. Up until I was 14, computers didn't really exist and cell phones were in briefcases. So you'll find that the newer tech I am not really up to date on and on par with. So you're not going to get, like you see on most of these YouTubers and influencers, you're not going to get the clean cut, top of the line equipment or anything else. I get what I can afford and what works, and I'm not going to invest major amounts of money into doing this because, again, my focus is to teach you and to show you what you need to know to be successful and to be comfortable. And yes, that's the other goal, is to make it so when you're out here in the outdoors that you are comfortable and you thrive. Right now I'm broadcasting to you from the wonderful state of Kansas. And I've been stuck here for almost 10 years. Lived in Washington, Alaska, Virginia, was born and raised in New Jersey and New York. I will be returning to New York City on the 17th of October. to pick up on some of the things that I've missed and visit family. It'll be my first time back in 22 years. So I will do a video portion about that will have nothing to do with the outdoors. It'll show you where I come from and my background a little bit. At least on my dad's side of the family. I don't know if I'm going to actually get home to Sussex, but I will try. It depends on what the rest of the family has going on. And I will take you on that little adventure as far as I can to show you what I can. If there's any questions about who I am and the reality of me, you can look me up. I was the U.S. Army's representative to Jimmy Heselden's funeral in Leeds, England. So you can verify me through that way, and you can do a Freedom of Information check on my military service through the Navy, the Army, and the Kansas Army National Guard. If there's additional questions, bring them up. As I said before, I am not interested in telling war stories or military stories. Some of it may pop up here and there as relevant, but I have no wish to train people in military operations. One is because a lot of the people out there in video land cannot be trusted. Two, it's overblown and overhyped. There's a lot of people that are involved with that should not be. And I believe they're showing civilians things that they shouldn't be. That they can't be responsible for. And by that, I mean that I haven't met you face to face. They haven't met you face to face. They don't know what your intent is, and they can't correct mistakes. And in not being able to correct mistakes, you can end up doing something to a point that it becomes a bad habit and gets you killed. Also in this series, we will be going over hunting with slings, bows, both long bows, recurve bows, and I said both, but I meant all three, and compound bows. And I'll be running you through that. We'll also go through basic firearms use for hunting and survival purposes, and knives and cutting instruments, hatchets, tomahawks, axes, splitting mauls, stuff like that. So I really hope you join me, and I hope you get a lot out of this. I hope I'm not boring you, and if you have any suggestions for me, other than me going to some technical school to make this a full-time job, which I really have no interest in. I'm just trying to give you information and trying to correct things that are out there that will get you hurt or killed. If you're a parent, I am trying to aim this more towards preteens and teens, but I'll be covering very factual information. It's information that everybody can use. The first official segment will be health and hygiene, and that will be coming out shortly. I hope to see you all then, and I look forward to hearing from you as we go along. And we will be doing this in a certain order. Like I said, the first segment will be health and hygiene. Then it'll be basic clothing and cooking supplies and utensils. Let me hide that away because I'm trying not to get demonetized. I'm trying to use, if I do make money off of these, I'm wanting to use it to add more to this and add more content and get you out more and show you around places and give you a chance to see different styles and stuff. Kansas, there's not a lot of places to climb. You won't see kids in the videos. I will be referencing my nieces and my nephews and my children. My daughters have no interest in coming in on this, so I will be covering the female hygiene portion of this myself because they don't want to get in front of a camera. And I won't put my nieces and nephews, as they're all juveniles, in front, nor anybody else's children. If you're an adult or a child and you're wanting to get a hold of me or do a video response to me, please do it in private. My email address is warrior7ra@gmail.com. Again, that is warrior7, as in the letter number 7, R or Romeo, and alpha @gmail.com. So if there's any other questions, please text me or hit me up in the comments and let me know. Oh, yes, being former military and everything, I do have a bit of a potty mouth that I will, because this is geared towards children, I'll be doing my best to control. Please forgive me if I slip every now and then. If I end up slipping too bad, I will just delete that video and start over. Like I said, I'm wanting you to follow through, and I'm wanting this to be real life. I am not wanting this to be jump from here to there and trying to figure out how people got from here to there. I'm wanting you to see the entire evolution of how we get from point A to point B to point C to D and roll it all together. So you won't see a lot of splicing. You will not see a lot of manipulation in the video. It'll be straightforward, and some of it may be just me prattling on. But it is what it is, and this is what I'm running with. I was going to write a book on this, but somebody pointed out people don't read books anymore, and there's no guarantee that my grandchildren would ever read it, so it would be better to do videos. So that is why I'm doing the videos. As I said, I do have a Patreon page. I will be adding the link below here with the help of my son, I hope. So you can support me that way, especially on ones that are going to be demonetized. I can pretty much guarantee that the hunting and the fishing and the trapping will all be demonetized by YouTube. I don't know whether the other forums will do the same. But trying to find a forum that allows for you to be frank and honest across the board about everything that you need to know and should know and have a right to know is a bit difficult. So if you could support me on Patreon, I would be eternally grateful, and I will do my best to make good, worthwhile content for you. Again, my name is David McGregor. Pleased to meet you, and I will see you soon. Thank you, and have a great rest of your evening.